guys, I recorded this and somehow deleted it. So here it is again, and I'm just going to talk as I go through it. So these are the 6x6 Smasher Pad series that I'm doing. So this was the first one that I did. This one was a mega pad and it's called Welcome Fall by, I think it's Carter Bella and Echo Park. And the second Smasher Pad series that the second pad that I did was the Craft Consortium Ink Drops Candy Set. So I'm just going to give you a quick flick through so you can see what I created with them. Now, I'm sorry about the glare, but I have to explain to you why I haven't taken these out of the packaging. So one of the problems that I had is when I was putting everything into my Creative Memories albums, they slide in, the page protector slides that way. So if you haven't seen them before, they slide that way. So therefore, everything is kept in, like things don't slide out. It's hard to explain, but when it comes to these ones, these side and top loading pages, because now I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers albums, my concern was if my kids pick up my albums and they tip them upside down like that, well, everything's going to fall out. So as you can see, nothing is falling out of my pages. Do you want to know why? I'm going to show you my trick. So I had to come up with a theory on how I was going to fix this. I apologize for the glare. My lights are extreme and they're up there. So this is what I purchased. This is a bag sealer, okay? So if I come in nice and close, you may be able to focus on it. So you can see in there's actually like a little, when you squeeze it together, it glows, and I think, can I get it to do it on camera for me? Not really. Okay, so what it does is when you seal it onto a bag, it actually seals the bag, right? So that's actually what this is. I picked this up from Amazon and it was like $6. It was nothing, right? So what I actually have done with my pages, there's nothing to take out of these pages. These are just simple, straightforward scrapbooking pages. There's no tags or anything to pull out for journaling. So any of the pages that I do like that, what I actually do is seal just a little tiny bit just at the top. That way, when it goes upside down, nothing falls out. The page stays in the protector. So even if my kids or grandkids down the track or whatever, if they pick up the album and accidentally drop it, everything's not going to slide and fall out. So that's how I fix the problem. That's my solution to the issue. I mean, there will obviously be ones here and there if there's tags or whatever that you want to, like interactive elements. I'll figure that out as I go. But for the moment, this is my solution for my straight up pages. Now, these are the pages that I created using the Welcome Fall collection. Now this was the mega pad. So this one had 48 sheets in the pad, 48 double-sided sheets. So I managed to so this one was absolutely, I love this. I loved this paper pad so much. I loved these colors. I loved all the bits and pieces. It was awesome. I just loved it. Loved working with it. Okay, can I get minimal glare? Okay, there we go. That's it. So that one is my double pager. So you can see, and all this was done with a 6x6 paper pad. So the main reason I'm doing the 6x6 paper pad series is because I want people to realize that 6x6 paper pad doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be super creative and do nice 12x12 layouts. You can easily do it. Not a problem at all. So this one was, apologies for the glare. I'm sorry about the glare. It's because they're already sealed in here. I normally always do my my layout shares. I do them before I put them in the plastic for the obvious reasons. So this one here, this was Gizmo holding his little popcorn with his little hands. It's so adorable. I absolutely loved how these turned out, and I love all the different patterns. They just worked. So this was actually the very last one that I did using the collection. So I was down to very, very little left. So I kind of just went, okay, I'm just going to cut it into small strips, and then that way I'll be able to sort of put them together in a brick formation. There's no actual, I've kind of faked it down the side here. There's no actual full strips behind the photos. That's one of my besties. That's one of her dogs. That was her puppy. This is her puppy. That's Chico, and that's Chico's mama, Daisy. Need to catch up with her, actually. Haven't seen her for a little bit. This one here, I used a Creative Memories punch and created kind of like a, it sort of looks like a patchwork quilt. This was my daughter. It's her birthday this week. I'll let you know when it's her birthday. Her birthday's on Saturday, actually. Going out and having a nice day, nice night, nice dinner. So that should be pretty awesome. And this one here is the last one for this one. So I managed with this particular, I love these glass things. Remember, I don't know, I'll say it again. I've said it when I was doing it, but I'll say it again. These little guys, I actually glue them on, if I can show them. See how they sit right up? I absolutely love these things. I love the bling. I love adding lots of bling to my pages. And these are like clear dewdrops, and they are absolutely fantastic. They're clear, so you can add them to anything you want and they will match. Not a problem whatsoever. And I just use the art glitter glue. I just use that. Tiny dot, squish it on, and it dries, and those things are going nowhere. So, as I drop the glue. Okay, try not to make you seasick while I'm doing this. So, what did I get? I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 8 pages. I got 8 pages out of the 48-page paper pack, and one of those is a double. And I mean, that's full on. That's a lot of paper on one page. So that's what I got out of the 48-page paper pack. Now, let's get rid of the glare for a minute. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, now this is the paper pad that I've just finished. This is the Craft Consortium Ink Drops Dash Candy paper pad. I absolutely love it. It was gifted to me by Crazy Craft Obsession. Cass thought I would love that, so, and I did. So this one here, this one, I've put these in the reverse order to what I did them on the last video. Okay, so this one here, I wanted to do some mixed media, but I wanted to use the page. Now, the reason I did it like this, now if you look really closely, see how there's green, but see there's this sort of dirty looking green? I wanted to really only see the pieces that were pink and orange and maybe a bit of blue, but I didn't want to see, there was literally a couple of pages where there was a really dirty green, and I didn't, it didn't appeal to me. So what I ended up doing, simple little trick, is because it's an ink paper, like it's got swirls on it, I just strategically pushed them out, so all the yucky green that I didn't like was behind my photos. So I just cut them, I just did a half circle and just created my own scallop design just using my corner rounder. So if you want to go and check that video out, it's pretty cool. And I just printed my photos. I think they're 1.5 by 1.5, something like that. So that was pretty good. Now, oh, and I will show you these brads. They are the ones that come all the way through. That honestly doesn't faze me, doesn't bother me at all, because once they go in my album, they'll go in my album, then I'll seal them at the top like that, and they're not going to go anywhere. So it doesn't faze me at all. And I will have another, so I'll have something like that. So you can't really, you're not going to see it, it's not going to damage anything, so it'll be all good. This was the very last one that I did using the collection. Now I'll push it back down. See that green just there? That's the green I was talking about that was really full on the other page. Some people may like that, and each their own, right? The reason I saved this one to the very, very last is because I loved, these 4 papers were my favorite out of the whole book, and I wanted to use them in their entirety. So all I did was I just put down 4, put down 2, and then I did 2, and then I just shunted them in a little bit so that it gave me a little bit of extra interest around the outside. And I went through with the stencil. Wasn't happy with the stencil work. That being said, I went back over it with some, what did I use? Liquid pearls. I used liquid pearls and Nuvo drops and a little bit of gold. So the pink and the gold. So I used the pink on the top there, which was the Ranger liquid pearls, and this down the bottom is the Lunar paste, and it looks fantastic. It's so shiny, and I loved it. So, and I've got some journaling to still add to that page before I put it in the book, but I was going to do this first. Now this one here I absolutely love. I love this one. I never get photos with orange in them very often, but this was taken in a children's hospital, so there was an orange wall. So I was really happy to be able to use the really orange parts out of the album, out of the paper pad, and around the very edge here you can see, if I move it around, and you see just there, it's very, you've got that metallic gold. That is from the Paper Rose Studios gold papers, and they're 1.0. That's what it's called, gold 1.0. Pretty sure that's what it's called. And that's what I added to this page, purely to give it a bit more pop. And on here, on the title, I went over it just with some inks, and then I just added a bit of tacky glue and rubbed a bit of just these really cheap gold foil from Kmart. That's all it is. Just whack that on there, done. So I loved how that one turned out. It was really good. This one was the last page that I did using the collection. I was down to just a couple of this, second last page that I did, and I wanted to add some bling to it. I was down to still having some of this green that I wasn't a fan of, but once I put the Stickles glitter on top, it was pretty good. I didn't really, you don't really focus on these bits that I'm not a fan of. Did a bit of stenciling in the center, added a little bit of bling, and boom, bada bing, it works a treat. And all I did was sat down and just cut the pages up. That's all I did. It was so simple. That one worked out really nicely as well. And this one is, okay, so I lined the pages up in a way, hang on, have I got 1 or 2 there? I've got 1, 2. I lined it up in a way so this big green patch was sort of in the center, which I really liked because I love that color. And I just went through and I added a little bit of bling to the photos just along there. I went through, these are the Tim Holtz Small Talk stickers, and these stickers were sent through by Cass as well, along with the paper pad, and it worked an absolute treat. I love how this one turned out. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because it's a 6x6 paper pad you can't create interest on the page. And I haven't used stencils, I haven't used lots of tricky techniques or anything. It's super simple and it totally works. So I loved how that one turned out. I did use Distress Oxides on the title, and I did cut that out on my Cricut, but you know, we all have different things. You might have dies that you can use, you might have alphabet dies, you might have thickers, you might have, the list goes on. However you like to create your titles. I just use my Cricut because it's easy and I love it. And this one is where I used the greens. Now, as I've already said 15 times, I wasn't a fan of the greens. However, this one had a lot more of your emerald green rather than the dirty army green. So I was able to, I just went around, I just created a nice border. This is all I had left of it at this point when I was using it. And it's just a super, super simple page. I wanted it to be about the photos with a nice border. That's all I wanted with this layout. And I think it worked. So this paper pad, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 layouts out of that one, and I probably could have pushed and got maybe one more out of the scraps, but it was getting really hard to come up with something different. There was only just a few scraps left. So 6 out of the 24 page 6x6 and 8 out of the 48 page. So onwards and upwards. And now I'm moving on to my next one. I did load up the first one of it today. And yeah, so let's go. Let's see what we can do with the rest of them. Thanks for watching, guys. Chat to you soon. Bye for now.